This is a special presentation of Way 31 Sports.
It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night. Hello, Alabama, find a comfortable spot. We got high school football and it's coming out hot. Now here we are and the lights are shining bright. We've always been. Yeah, Way 31 is rocking all right.
Big Game Friday night. Max Cohan, Trevor Denton.
It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
It's a cat fight with more than 100 years of history. Scottsboro and Guntersville battling for the top spot in 5A Region 8 in our Game of the Week.
While out in Hartselle, the Tigers and Golden Eagles meeting in a 6A Region 7 showdown could determine who wears the region crown in our rivalry game of the week.
Hello and welcome into a very special edition of Big Game Friday Night. Max Cohan alongside Jim Abbott, who's filling in for Trevor Denton. And Jim, you might not be covering high school football every day, but everyone knows how big this game is between Scottsboro and Guntersville.
Yeah, Max, this is a rivalry that dates back to 1914, but in recent years, the teams have become region rivals, and that only turns up the heat and a notch on this Wildcat clash.
Yeah, and this year the situation is simple. Win the game and you're on top of the region. Both Scottsboro and Guntersville entered the night with perfect region records, so let's head out to Chorley Stadium and check in with Paige Meyer to find out which team still has a 0 in the loss column.
We knew one thing coming into tonight's game, the Wildcats were going to win, but it came down to which one. Both Scottsboro and Guntersville were undefeated in region play, but only one could take this game tonight. The Guntersville Wildcats won this game 34-7, keeping their undefeated streak alive, putting their record at 7-0. It was a battle of the cats at Chorley Stadium as undefeated 6-0 Guntersville takes on 6-1 Scottsboro. The black and gold starts us off, but after a few tedious plays and a sack, the ball is turned over to the Cardinal red and white. With the ball now in Scottsboro's possession, they have a nice catch here by Dadrian Waller. The ball gets handed off here to Julian Jordan, and after a few jukes, he finesses his way into the end zone for a Wildcats touchdown. Scottsboro's attempt for redemption is no good, with the ball turned back over to Guntersville. And after a few more plays, Guntersville attempts a 47-yard field goal and is successful, bringing the score up 10-0. With no points up on the board for Scottsboro, they lock in here with a nice catch and run by Jaden Gilbert, followed by QB Jake Jones marching the offense down the field for a Wildcats first down. Jones passes the ball here to Gilbert, but just as the black and gold is about to make their come up, the ball is fumbled and turned over to Scottsboro. The Cardinal red and white don't let any points up on the scoreboard for the rest of the half, nor do they add any themselves, keeping the score 10-0 halfway through. We're here at Guntersville High School. I'm joined with head football coach Lance Reese. You guys just won your 7th game of the season. How are you feeling right now?
It was a great win for our team. Both communities really came out. Their coaches kind of challenged us about not being a physical football team, so we took that to heart. Our defense played really well against a team that had been putting up a lot of points. I thought our offense did great. Both of our running backs had a big night, so just a great night to be a Wildcat.
And have you, at this point in your season, ever been undefeated up to this point?
Yeah, I've done it a few times. I've been around for a long time, but you know, this is a huge win for us, but like I told the players, all this did is make the Boaz game next week that much bigger. It's a region game, it's a Marshall County game, so we're going to enjoy this tonight, start getting ready for Boaz tomorrow.
And now goals. I mean, you're 7-0 right now. What's some goals that you're thinking of looking forward to?
Yeah, once again, our number one goal is just to get better and be the best Guntersville team we can be. We feel like if we play our best, that we're going to have a chance to win.
Anything else you want to say to the fans that came out tonight?
Yeah, our fans did a great job. We had a big community tailgate before, and they really came out. They were super loud tonight. We're just fortunate to be coaching in a place like Guntersville.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Well, thank y'all.
Thank you. And that wraps it up here at Guntersville High School, with Guntersville taking this one 34-7. Reporting in Guntersville, Paige Meyer, Way 31 Sports.
Is just a massive win for the Cats. They control their own destiny now.
Yeah, it's really something with Scottsboro, you know, going after the region. The last time that they won the region, Bo Nix was the quarterback.
Man, he's in the
NFL
NFL now.
He's in the NFL.
It's been a little while.
Yeah,
They might have to wait.
Yeah, and Guntersville, you know, for them, whatever, they've got Boaz and Douglas, and they've been averaging 39 points per game, so they're pretty much on that mark tonight. They're right there.
Yeah, they're a really good team. There's a reason that they're still undefeated. Over in 7A Region 4, only 2 teams remain undefeated in region play. Last year, James Clemens defeated Sparkman in a thriller. The Jets hoping to cruise to their 7th straight victory over the Senators tonight. And Chad McGee would keep feeding his guys. Ty Doty just does not want to go down on this impressive catch and run. Then in the red zone, they dial up an actual run with MJ Gideon handling business and falling just short of the end zone, at least on that carry. Gideon was giddy as he took it in, but when the final tally came in, the Jets had lost as the Senators take it 15-14. The other undefeated team in that region is Austin, and Jeremy Perkins' Black Bears had a date with Bob Jones tonight. Austin still perfect on the season as they entered Madison City Stadium tonight, and the Black Bears love getting Gavin Fuke with a ball and letting him run it in, and they play the hits tonight for the quick 6. Bob Jones has some electric players, but they couldn't get a ton going early. The Patriots would make things interesting late, but ultimately fall to the Black Bears 42-28.
Now, on the flip side, only one team in the region has yet to win a game, and that would be Albertville. The Aggies looking to change that tonight as they hit the field against the Huntsville Panthers. Aside from a COVID forfeit in 2020, Albertville had not beaten the Panthers since 1992. The Aggies start off with a little bit of trickery in this one. 4th down, not punting. Hunter Smith instead goes up top, and Desideus Revolte comes down with it. Yeah, nice. Panthers with the ball, though, inside their own 10. Will Carter trying to get them away from their own end zone towards the other, and yeah, that'll work. 90-yard play courtesy of William Neighbors on the other end. Going for the end zone, doesn't quite get there. Will Carter finishes it up, takes it from inside the 5, runs it up the gut for 6. Panthers suddenly rolling on offense, and they're rolling on defense. Aggies trying to get things going. Parker Gibson, though, gets picked off by Jagger Richardson, and Richardson has his sights set on the end zone. He's going to find it waiting for him. Just like home for Huntsville High on homecoming weekend, they shut out Albertville 42-0. Staying in 7A Region 4, the Florence Falcons have lost their last 2 games, but those came against Austin and James Clemens. Tonight, they took on Grissom. The Tigers' #1, quarterback Seth Lieber, trying to get things going. He's picked off by the Falcons' #1, Jay-Shot Pearson. Surveys the field before deciding exactly where to run it back. He's going to get Florence into the red zone, and it's Cade Davis' turn. Hands off to Cavante Green, scoots left. He's headed for the end zone. Florence up 21-0 early in the 3rd, and the Falcons keep flying around in the secondary. Tristan Taylor looking for a big game, but Jay-Shot Pearson nabs another pick. 3 picks early in the second half. Florence cruises to a 38-7 win over Grissom.
Well, Jim, we've already seen some great action so far, but some of the best is still yet to come.
Yeah, stick around. We will head to Hartselle for our rivalry game of the week right after the break. 3.
You're watching Big Game Friday Night. Go Panthers! It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday Night.
Welcome back into Big Game Friday Night, everyone. Jim, 1921 was a wild year. The first White Castle opened, baseball was broadcast on the radio for the first time, and Hartzell and Athens had their first battle on the football field.
Yeah, a lot has changed in the 103 years since then, but one thing remains the same. These teams love beating each other. So let's head out to J.D. Kane Stadium for the 6A region battle. And the crowd absolutely fired up in this one. But they would be shocked early as Jaden Morris has a great rumble, ends up in a fumble. Recovered by Jackson Unger. A few plays later, the Tigers would still find the end zone as Shaheem Pruitt in on the spinner. That's a Hartzell score. The celebration is on as the lights go off, with Athens still very much in this game. You know, Xavier Edwards, maybe talk about him being an X factor. A big gainer for the Eagles. Looking good as he always does, but Noah Lee and the Tigers just a little too much for the Eagles tonight in the 21-19 win.
That was a big win. I thought defense played lights out, of course, in the first half. Didn't give them anything. And then, Athens opened up the playbook a little bit there in the third quarter and they started moving it and getting some RPOs and throwing it down the field. And but our defense kept battling. And then in the fourth quarter, when it mattered, our offense came through, especially that last drive, and just took it down the field, 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9-yard runs with, 4 different guys getting the ball, 2 quarterbacks and 2 running backs, and the offensive line just, really taking over up front. So I'm super proud of our team. A huge region win. We got 2 more region games to go.
But hey, not every team in every region can enter the night with a perfect record. And take Decatur, for example. The Red Raiders in their first season under John Ritter, and we have the man himself in studio to talk about what's going on. Coach, a lot of success at Russellville. Now you're in your first year with Decatur. Walk me through what it's been like in this first season.
Yeah, I think it's a great situation for me and my family. It's an opportunity to go in to another program that has a lot of tradition, a lot of excellence associated with football, and build it back up. Similar to what we did at West Morgan, and even though Russellville only had 1 bad year when we took over, we had a great 6-year run, and so very proud to be a Red Raider. Obviously we want more W's than we've got, but Rome wasn't built in a day, and we're going to build a strong foundation that carries on for years to come. We're building a program, not a team.
Now, obviously, everybody knows these things take time. When you look at where your players have gotten from day one to today, is there something you're seeing where they're like, okay, they're actually buying in, they know that the progress is in progress?
Yeah, I think so. Kind of our programs are built on a player experience, and that goes from practice to games to how they function in the classroom. And we have very high expectations. We have very high standards. Well, the thing that we say daily is talent varies. The standard doesn't. And, we're going to hold every kid to the same standard. We're going to coach every kid. We're going to be hard. We're going to be demanding. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure our guys have a great experience and something that they can, talk about the rest of their life.
As you mentioned, not as many wins as you'd like to have at this point, but what's the one thing you can look at with the team and say, I'm really proud of this?
I thought last night was really one of the closest games that we've had where we hadn't got blown out or we hadn't blown somebody out, and we fought. Even when we got down 14, we fought. We got down 14 again and we fought. Tied the game up, late in the fourth and let it slip away, but, the effort was always there. Even though mistakes were happening, we're continuing to fight, and that's a positive sign.
You mentioned last night, obviously, Jerry Adcock gets honored with the plaque. Knowing what it takes to make history there and having the possibility of putting your name on a wall one day, does that inspire you?
Yes and no. I mean, I'm not sure I can go 26 years like Jerry did. But, you look at the guys on that wall with Coach Rivers, Coach Ogle, Coach Webb, and Coach Thompson, and now Coach Adcock. What a great group of men that are well known, not only for being good football coaches, but high men of character. And to have my name associated with those, even in passing, is such a humbling thing. And, like I said, so proud to be at Decatur, so excited about our future. And, if we're able to hang in there long enough to get on that wall, great. But if not, that's okay too, because we're going to go out and make sure our guys have a first-class experience, that we work them and we provide everything they need to be successful.
Well, if Russellville showed us anything, it's that the success is coming. It might just take a little bit of time. Coach, can't thank you enough for making the time for us this evening. We got more football to get to. Let's check in on 4A Region 8, a stacked division this year. Tonight, Westminster Christian looked to continue their strong start against Madison County. We jump in with the Cats up 12, but the Tigers were knocking at the door, and one carry from Keonta Hill is enough to get Madison County in the end zone, making this a 6-point game. But WCA would dial up a strong drive. Houston Scott hits Adam Hartman on the bubble screen, and he's going to pick up some serious yards before getting thrown out of bounds. The Cats would be forced to kick, and then Madison County's special teams stepped up, blocking the field goal attempt to keep things close. And just before the half, the Tigers had one last shot at the end zone, and guess what? They took it. A perfect dime to Brody Snyder, and all of a sudden Madison County has a 2-point lead, but the Wildcats would win this one 40-21. Well, Jim, we've talked a lot about touchdown passes, explosive runs, and great catches, but I think it's time we show the defense some love.
Yeah, it's perfect timing because our defensive play of the day is on display right after the break.
For more Big Game Friday night. Here we It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
Welcome back into Big Game Friday night, everyone. Everybody that's been around football has heard a head coach say that the best offense is a good defense. Some nights it's hard to disagree.
Yeah, so let's head out to Tanner for a play that kind of picked itself. A little bit of a spoiler since we haven't showed this game yet, but how about Connor Sibley? Yeah, this guy knows how to handle the pick drill and gets the Eagles 6 points out of it and the win. A clear winner for our defensive play of the day.
The Fife Red Devils are having an interesting season. Generally, it's odd if the Red Devils lose 2 games in a year, let alone before Halloween, but this year they did. Luckily, both of those games were out of region. So Paul Benefield's squad was still up top as they took on Whitesburg tonight, and the Warriors were down 2 scores early, but not looking to give up. Caleb Robinson rolls to his right and has the freshman Graham Williams open to keep things moving. It worked that time, so they say, hey, might as well do it again. Whitesburg putting themselves in position to score. Unfortunately for them, they missed their field goal attempt, and the running Red Devils took over. This time it's Everett DeBoard taking the sweep, and he heads down the far sideline, eyeing the end zone, but falling just a yard short. From there, you know it's coming. It's the Red Devils special. Logan Anderson making it look easy as he just trots into the end zone. Fife takes this one easily, 49-7.
Well, speaking of teams that played for state titles last year, we got to talk about Madison Academy. The Mustangs moved up to 4A this year and have been struggling, but win over New Hope could get them back on track. And this game was never really a fair fight. You know, you can generally tell when you see the opening kickoff because it means something big's about to happen. That's exactly what you're about to see. New Hope boots it to Khalil Green, and as soon as he has the ball, it is over. Cuts through the Indians' defense, finds nothing but green grass on the other side as he makes a long-distance call. Mustangs would keep their foot on the gas in this one, coming up with some huge plays on both sides of the snap as they trounce New Hope tonight, 52-0.
All right, well, it's already time for us to call our third and final timeout of the night.
But when we return, we're talking about honoring a legend. We'll take you to Decatur right after the break.
Stay tuned for more Big Game Friday night. Go It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
For the Gunnersville High School Crimson Guard, and you're watching Big Game Friday night on Way 31. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and.
All right, how about that? The Gunnersville Marching Band breaking out the classics. You can see why the Wildcats are still undefeated because that team is actually powered by the music, I would have to imagine. I can't say for sure, but I would have to imagine. And over in Decatur, Nikita Stover has the Eagles in another great spot. Decatur Heritage perfect in region play as they took on Tanner tonight.
Yeah, the former Alabama wide receiver looking to lead his team to a title, and it wouldn't take long for his team to assert their dominance. Severius Evans right up the middle. Takes it right into the end zone. Doesn't get much easier than that for the Eagles. But they were just getting started in this one. Dylan Germany throwing through some restricted airspace finds Paxton Tarver anyway for another touchdown. And the Eagles also got it done on defense. How about Connor Sibley handling the tip drill like a pro as he picks this one off. Goes on a sprint for 6. The Eagles take this one home 62-0.
Another team right in the thick of the playoff hunt is Lawrence County. The Red Devils hoping a win over Ardmore can get them a game closer. And we head up to the border city. Ardmore quarterback Alex King is eyeing the skies, deciding to go to the dump off. But Noah Stafford doesn't just want to stop at the sticks, getting the Tigers a fresh set of downs but they couldn't do anything with it. So Lawrence County tries their hand. Again, the pass game is the choice as Parker Frost slings it over to Lawson Terry for another chain mover. One play after that, they'll go the distance as Frost has William Long in front of his defender, and that one will go long for a Red Devil touchdown. But Ardmore wins this one, 27-17. 4 Decatur head coaches have plaques at Ogle Stadium. Shorty Ogle, Wes Thompson, Earl Webb, and Steve Rivers.
Yeah, now Jerry Adcock gets to join them and become the 5th. The Red Raiders head coach from 1996 to 2022 received that honor Thursday in front of friends, family, and former players.
I would come in the mornings, the plaques used to be inside. I'd come in, I'd look at those plaques, and I felt like those 4 guys were talking to me every time I walked in the door. And, you know, it was always like you leave the house and your dad and your mom would say something to you, and that's what I felt like. So being up there with them and seeing all these people here that coached with us, that supported us, that played for us, man, this is just one of the highlights of my life. It really is.
All right, how about that? Jerry Adcock absolutely earning his spot on the wall. You look at a guy like that, and we were just talking to Coach Ritter, I mean, that's the goal at a school like that. There's only a couple of guys, really, it's a couple of guys that have been the head coach there since 1933. It's almost 100 years. Coach Ritter hoping that maybe one day he can be there, but obviously Jerry's still coaching, actually on the sidelines, well, in the press box for Whitesburg. So,
no, and as he said, they set the standard. I mean, that's what you get from the program, and they just want to keep going on that way. It's good stuff.
Of course, it was a big night for us here, and we'd like to thank everybody that helps make this show possible, from all of our people in production to everybody that's shooting on the sidelines. Of course, this show would not be possible without them, and of course, a massive thank you to all you for tuning in every week and making Way 31 your home for high school football.
And to finish this week's show, we'll end things the same way we do every week with our Big Game Friday Night Top Light.
Good night, everybody.
Watching a special presentation